Hey guys, WalterFootball.com video going to talk about some signings that happened. Nick Chubb signed with the Texans. The Bills signed Shaq Thompson. There was another signing as well. Going to grade all of them. So before we get into that, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store, and visit WalterFootball.com. We have tons of content, including these signing grades. We have grades for every single signing that happened this offseason. You can even filter by team and just see how every team is done. We have mock drafts that are updated today, and then we have fantasy rankings, picks against the spread come fall, and then we have picks for every other sport too. We have picks for golf. We hit a 70-1 long shot last week at the Canadian Open, so hopefully we get some winners for the U.S. Open. But getting into this now, the Texans signed Nick Chubb. This happened last night. 1 year, $2.5 million. We're kind of waiting on Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, some other running backs, and I guess this is the first domino to fall after the draft. And I did not expect the Texans to sign Nick Chubb. Kind of a weird move here because they already have Joe Mixon, they have Dameon Pierce, they have Woody Marks, and they just drafted. I don't think Nick Chubb is going to threaten Mixon at all. For those of you who have Mixon in your fantasy leagues or have drafted him in best ball, I wouldn't sweat it out at all. In fact, it might. I don't know if it's going to lower Mixon's ADP at all, but if it does, it's going to be you're going to get a good bargain with Mixon, who was tremendous last year. Now, Nick Chubb might be done. It's unfortunate. He suffered that gruesome knee injury in week 2 of 2023, that Monday night game against the Steelers. It was just so brutal. He was one of the best runners in the NFL. Some would say like the best pure runner in the NFL. Didn't do much as a receiver out of the backfield, but just as a runner, he was tremendous. And he looked like a shell of himself last year, which was predictable. People were drafting him in like 7th, 8th, 9th round last year, which I thought was insane. Now he has a chance to be better this year. He's going to be 2 years removed from that injury come, the middle of September. So there's a chance that he might bounce back to his former self. I really don't think so. I think that knee injury is going to be too much for him. And this might be his last chance, actually. Like, if he does not perform well in Houston here as a backup, I would say challenge Dameon Pierce. Then I don't know if any team's going to sign him, which is unfortunate. It's going to be like Todd Gurley, who he led the Rams to the Super Bowl in the 2018 season, and then 2 years later he's out of the league because of his knee injuries. And I think it might be the same with Nick Chubb. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he proves me wrong and succeeds and looks good. And then this 1 year prove it deal turns into a big contract for him. That would be awesome. I'm rooting for him because he was such a great player beforehand, and it's such a shame to see someone's career ruined like that. But it's hard to be optimistic. It really is. But the Texans are not risking anything here. It's 1 year, $2.5 million. If this doesn't work out, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect them long term at all. This is nothing but upside because he might be a better backup than Dameon Pierce, who just isn't a good fit for Houston's offense. And I think this might say more about Woody Marks. They drafted him, and perhaps like in practices he hasn't looked good or something, or maybe they just want to move on from Pierce. I think it's a mark against one of those two guys. So there's a chance that Chubb is the RB2. There's also a chance that he doesn't even make the roster. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I hope he succeeds, but I don't think he will. But even if he doesn't, there's no downside here. So that's why I gave the Texans an A+. Another signing I liked, the Bills signed Shaq Thompson today. We don't have terms on the deal. I assume it was for 1 year, very little, because some teams could have signed him in the spring and they didn't. And now it's June, and he was teamless until today. The Bills signed him. I like the signing for 2 reasons. One, you have Matt Milano, who is a tremendous player. He's just absolutely fantastic, but he has this long injury history. 2023, he was out for 2/3 of the season or 3/4 of the season. It's just brutal. There was a brutal loss that when he suffered an injury. I believe he got hurt in the London game, or maybe it was the week before. There was like a 2-week stretch where the Bills lost like so many players. It was absurd. And then last year he was out for about 2/3 of the season again. He came back and then he struggled for a few weeks, and then eventually he improved and he was great down the stretch. So maybe it's a sign of things to come next year, and I would expect him to play at a high level. Unfortunately, he gets hurt a lot, and he could just miss time again. It's almost a given at this point. It's not like if he's going to get hurt, it's like how much time is he going to miss? If he misses 3 or 4 games, no big deal, unless it's in the playoffs. If he misses half the season, then that's kind of a disaster. So that's where the signing comes in. The Bills needed depth at linebacker. They didn't address linebacker at all in free agency or the draft, and they got Shaq Thompson here. And second reason why I like the signing, and the first being it provides great depth and insurance for Milano. The second reason is because Shaq Thompson played under Sean McDermott when the two were in Carolina. So there's going to be a smooth transition for Shaq Thompson going to Buffalo. He's played with Carolina for a long time, and now he's going to go to the Bills with a familiar head coach. And I expect him to thrive. I think he's going to be a high-end backup, but he's going to see playing time because, Milano gets hurt, or maybe some of their other linebackers struggle, and he sees action. Unfortunately for Thompson, he also has a long injury history. But I guess between the two, Milano and Thompson, maybe they put them together and they play a full season. I don't know. It would be a shame if both of them got hurt, but I like the Bills a lot this year. They're under consideration of being my Super Bowl predicted champion. We had the Eagles last year. I'm going between 5 teams right now as my predicted Super Bowl winner, and the Bills are one of them. And this signing definitely helps because one of my concerns is linebacker depth behind Milano, who gets hurt a lot. So now that they have Thompson, that definitely is a plus, I think. So great signing. I gave it an A+. Again, like Nick Chubb, there's a high floor and there's a high ceiling. There's also a high floor because if this doesn't work out, then it's no big deal. They're not going to take on any risk. The other signing that happened, this was the bigger contract, even though Josh Oliver is probably the lesser known of the three, unless you're a Minnesota fan. So he signed a 3-year, $23.5 million contract. He's a tight end, which sounds like a lot of money, especially if you play fantasy and you're like, who is this guy? I know TJ Hawkinson, who's Josh Oliver. He caught 22 passes last year. So from a stat perspective, the signing makes no sense. But Josh Oliver is a tremendous blocker. Some people think that he's the best blocking tight end in the NFL. So I don't hate the signing. However, there's a very long history of big tight end contracts that just don't pay out unless that tight end is an elite player. And Josh Oliver, while being a great blocker, he's certainly not an elite tight end. So I don't like the signing. I gave the C-. I think you can maybe argue C or C+, but this is a lot of money. I wrote on the site that Josh Oliver was probably shocked when he saw this contract. He's like, "You're giving me this much money? Wow, I'll sign. Where do I sign?" So yeah, it's a lot of money, but he does have a great role in the team. He's a tremendous blocker, and he's going to help the team. I like the Vikings a lot as well this year. I don't know if they're one of the top 5 teams that I consider for Super Bowl champion, but I have bet them to win the Super Bowl at 40-1 odds. So I do like them, and Oliver is going to help them get there if that happens. So, all right, those are the signing grades for today. I hope you like the video. If you do, please hit the like button or subscribe. We're almost at 5,000 subs, so that would help us out a lot. Otherwise, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content, free content, I should say. It doesn't cost you a dime. Just go to the site and you see all the great content we have on the site. But otherwise, we'll have a new video tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then.